Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to our weekly chat show, Talking Point. I'm your host, Niaz Ahmed. Today in our studios, we have a distinguished personality, Khandakar Abdul Muktadir. He is chairman of Bangladesh Terry Towel and Linen Manufacturers and Exporters Association, BTTLMEA for short, even that is long. Welcome to the show, Abdul Muktadir bhai. How are you?
Thank you very much. Thanks for inviting me.
Not at all. It's a pleasure and an honor. What brings you to London?
Well, I'm on a short business trip here. I have come here to see the development of some of our competitors, which is in the market in different stores here. And
competitors from other countries.
Competitors from other countries, yes. And also one of the objectives is to talk to some of our buyers who are in business with us.
Right.
So mainly that's the purpose. And other one is I'm a little bit involved with politics.
Right.
Which possibly is...
Well, we can't keep the devil out. We'll come to that. As chairman, I have been to your website, and what is the purpose of this association anyway?
Well, in the larger textile family, this association represents the third largest export sector in Bangladesh.
Who are the first and second?
The first and second are pretty close. This is knit and woven sector. It's ready-made garments, which is represented by BGMEA, Bangladesh Garments Manufacturer and Exporter Association, and other one is BKMEA, Bangladesh Knit Manufacturer and Exporter Association.
And for our purpose, we put them all, lump them together and said garment industry.
RMG sector. We call them RMG sector, ready-made garment sector.
Ready-made garments. Yes.
And our one is doesn't belong to the ready-made garments range.
Because it is not garments anyway.
It's not garments. It's not cloth. It belongs to the textile sector, and we are the third largest export sector in the country. Our product consists of towel, bed sheet, bed cover, upholstery. Upholstery means sofa cover, curtain, etc.
Curtains. Yes. And most of it is exported.
All of them.
All of them. See, you don't cater to the local market.
Of course, there is a portion who are responsible for taking care of local markets. But I am talking about the export sector.
Right.
And it's the lump sum volume of export of this sector is about $1 billion.
Right. This is not the last fiscal year, but the current projection is that.
The year before last.
The year before last. Right. That was 2011, 2012.
Yes.
About 1 billion. Right. When you say 1 billion dollar worth export, when the money comes, is it reinvested in the same industry?
Well, investment and reinvestment depends on a lot of other things.
Right.
What we have been facing in Bangladesh for over the last 7-8 years is lacking of different things. To set up an industry or a manufacturing plant, first you need to have energy. That is the pivotal thing.
Right.
Either you drive your factory through gas or by electricity, but you need to have one source of energy.
You need a constant supply.
Consistent supply of energy. So for the last 7-8 years, we have not been able to provide either gas or electricity to the interested or willing entrepreneurs.
Right.
So that one problem kept us behind. And recently, another problem has come up, the political instability.
Right.
And these are the reasons. The first one is the pivotal one.
The instability has been there for quite some time. We have begun to live with it. And it's despite all that odds, and I say mashallah, alhamdulillah, Bangladesh has been progressing, see. Through, of course, people like you have been working hard, the industry has been working hard, and people have been going abroad, sending money back home, and the exchequer is benefiting.
Bangladesh has been progressing, there's no doubt about it. If you consider the GDP growth rate for the last 1 decade, it has been consistently around 6%. But what is alarming is there has not been any significant investment mainly in the manufacturing sector for last 6, 7, 8 years.
I mean, local investors, or are you talking about foreign investors?
Both local and overseas. And the GDP growth we have been observing for last 6, 7 years actually is derived out of the momentum of the previous investment that was made before, prior to this period I am talking about. We need to have a big deal of investment, at least per year 6 to 8 billion in the manufacturing sector.
Right.
Because every year about 2 million people are coming up, they are joining the labor market. In order to accommodate them, you need to have a great deal of investment. The tune I have just told you, about 6 to 8 billion. Otherwise, 4 or 5 years down the line, we'll find a huge group of unemployed population.
Number of people unemployed.
And even according to the government statistics, 40% of our existing employed people are underemployed.
Right.
So that's an alarming thing. We have our human resource.
When you say underemployed, what does it mean? I mean, they're not working full time, or they're not?
Underemployed means there are two things. One, they're seasonally employed, like in the tourism sector, like in the agricultural sector, where there are one harvest in the whole year, or 2 harvests in the whole year. So they're partially employed, and they're employed for 2 seasons, and they're resting another season. Resting means they're out of job. In the tourism sector also, you can find in many other countries, there is seasonal employment. And also, there are some people who do not work full week or full month. If they work this month, maybe they will remain unemployed for another 15 days. So, in order to generate proper momentum in our economy, we need to have our people fully employed, and we need to utilize their skill to their full potential.
But that we can't do without changing the system. I mean, the agricultural labor, if he is working only on one harvest for 3 months to 4 months, you see, the rest 8 months of the year, he has to find a job. And where does he go? As you said, we can't provide him the job, see. So we have to have a system where the system allows entrepreneurs to invest, see. Also to attract foreign investment. And the whole thing goes back again to the same person or the government or the administration, establishment, that the system is not.
The matter actually is a little bit more complicated than that. Our agriculture sector provides 19% to the GDP, 19%. 19. Other 30% is provided by the manufacturing sector. Other 51% is coming from the service sector. But though agriculture is only contributing to the tune of 19% to the GDP, it employs about 40%, 45%. So half of the people are employed in a sector which actually contributing 1/5 of the GDP. That means we have less skill there, less productivity there. And another problem is there are less crops than expected or than preferred. Less crop than preferred. I mean, 1 crop in a year or 2 crop in a year instead of 3 crops in a year, or instead of 3 crops plus a vegetable in a year. Or fruits. Because there are lack of irrigation system. There are weakness in irrigation system. It's not
then the irrigation system depends on power supply, isn't it?
Power supply is one aspect. Another problem is there is no internal irrigation link, no canal, or there are not properly pump has not been put in place, or a massive arrangement has not been put in place to take care of the whole area, massive area. These are different problems. To address it properly, to make our population who are already engaged in the agricultural sector, to make them fully work up to their potential, we need to modernize the agricultural system, number one, and we need to put in a proper irrigation plan for the whole sector.
Okay. We'll come back to that, the broader landscape and broader canvas of economy and agriculture. Let's get back to your industry that you represent, that you are the chairman of. And as they say, the devil is in the detail. You employ about 48,000 men and women. right? That's what I picked up from your
No,
website.
no,
Probably this figure has gone up.
It's gone up. The website is under construction.
Right.
So the information
It's being updated.
picked up from there is wrong. Our sector employs about 300,000 men and women.
Okay. And how much do you pay them? I know there will be different wages, see, but on another channel, you were talking about so many people living under the poverty line, see, and then you described what is poverty line, see. Do you pay enough to them to soar above the poverty line, or will they remain with their heads above the water but still under the water?
Let's discuss it, and I'll leave it to you to draw a conclusion. There are two wage scales in our industry sector,
right.
One for ready-made garments and another for textiles.
Right.
So now the wages that has been set today is 5,300 taka
Right.
for the entry-level workers. The worker who is
Completely fresh.
who is a freshman and who is unskilled, who hasn't been trained.
Right.
He draws about 5,300 taka
Per
But-
month. For how many hours job?
per 8 hours. And as you grow up, there are different stages.
As he progresses in his
As
work.
it progresses, it can go up to 8,000 or 8,500. But from our practical experience, we can tell you that there are factories where skilled workers can draw up to 10, 12, even
Right.
in the sweater factories,
Right.
they draw about 18,000 taka.
Right.
Let me make another point. Still this is low. Still this is low. I would have been happy if my workers were drawing like $500 a month. That would have been only fair to the amount of sweat coming out of their bodies.
Right.
But also you have to understand the realities around. You are not competing with yourself.
Right.
You are competing with China, you are competing with India, you are competing with Pakistan, Vietnam, Cambodia, elsewhere.
Right. See.
We have weakness in our productivity.
Right.
Though we are paying about $70 a month, that 5,300 taka. India is paying a little bit more. Pakistan is paying.
Is there a minimum wage prescribed by the government?
That is what I am talking
Okay.
about, 5,300
We
taka.
are running out of time. We have to take a break right now. And when we come back, we'll talk about the details. I said that the devil is in the details. And a lot of people ask questions. And why not you? Because you are in the thick of things, see? You know about it. Thank you, viewers, for being with us. And we'll come back after this commercial break. Thank you.
আপনারা দেখছেন টকিং পয়েন্ট,
সৌজন্যে মাহবুব এন্ড কো অ্যাকাউন্টেন্টস।